Hi everybody, I'm Claire from Zinnia House Furniture Painting and how to recreate with paint furniture painting made easy. We're getting close, okay? You've sort of at this point I hope watched my why I'm doing this. You've watched the prep video and now today we're gonna talk about paint, or in this video, maybe you've watched them all on the same day. So in this video we're going to talk about paint and specifically chalk paint. So there's lots of brands that I'm going to touch on, and I'm also going to be going down to my notes here, so excuse the up and down. But before I do, I don't want you to get paralyzed with the myriad of paint choices available to you. I'm going to be doing, in another video, I'm going to be doing a comparison of all the different paints, how well they cover, how well they sand, how well they, distress, blend, all those things. But if you don't hear anything else I say in this video today, hear me say this: just buy the damn paint and start painting. All right? Okay, so the primary reason we use chalk paint is because it's easy. There's not a lot of prep that goes into it. It's designed to adhere well without a lot of sanding and priming, or pretty much no sanding and priming. Cleaning, yes, but not sanding and priming. There's places for those things, the sanding and priming, which if you watch the prep video, you know that. But in most cases, they really aren't necessary. And chalk paint always needs a top coat. But I'm going to give you more on that in a minute. Okay, so the first name in chalk paint is Annie Sloan. This is a baby one. This is like a 4-ouncer, I think. So Annie Sloan chalk paint. And as far as I know, Annie Sloan is actually copyrighted the phrase chalk paint. So all of these others have some form of chalk in them, but they can't be called chalk paint, okay? Annie Sloan's a good paint, no doubt about it. But I want to say that I think there are others that are just as good, okay? And so we're going to go a little bit through some of these. There's lots of paints that fall under what we would consider chalk paint. So like Annie Sloan, many of them are sold in small boutiques and stores, or available online. For me, there's an Annie Sloan stockist. She's about 35 minutes away. I don't use it very often, and it's for this reason, is that if I'm in the middle of a project, I paint a lot at night and on the weekends because I have another job during the day. And if I run out of a color of paint on a Sunday afternoon and that store isn't open, then I'm screwed. I can't continue painting until the store is open and I'm available to go to it during its open hours. And so for me, it's really a matter of convenience, okay? I have ordered other chalk paint online, and I'm going to go through a little bit with you here, okay? So this is Fusion mineral paint. So this isn't actually, I'm not 100% sure what the mineral paint is, what the difference is, but I'll just show you this is Fusion here. And this is a real baby. This is a 1.25 ounces, and I've ordered a little test package here. You can see it. You might not be able to see it. I've got like 4 of these for a project I'm doing. That comparison, I'm going to be comparing the different paints. That's what that's for. And I'm going to be comparing white and gray together so I can blend them, and so you can see how well they cover, and all of the things I talked about before. So I specifically didn't, I'm ordering a lot of different kinds of paint in white and gray. And so where I could, I went as little as I could, because you can only have so much white and gray paint, and it's not going to take me much to do this project. Okay. Here's another brand. This is called Heritage. This is the Heritage Collection from Heirloom Traditions, I believe. This is an all-in-one paint, so it doesn't need a top coat. Pretty good paint. Again, I have to order it, so I don't use a ton of it. The other brands you might hear of are Dixie Belle, Wise Owl, Fusion I talked about, Heirloom Traditions. I talked about that a little bit. Country Chic, General Finishes. The list goes on. Those are primarily Canadian or North American. There's probably lots in Australia and England that I haven't even heard of. Annie Sloan is from England, but very common over here in North America as well. So those are the ones that, you know, are sort of more boutique kind of paints. And don't get me wrong, they're great paints. They're really good paints. And you're going to, you know, they have great stockists who have great knowledge. So I don't want to dismiss them. I'm just telling you why I don't use them as much. Then there are the paints that are available from your local stores. So from a local craft store like Michael's, you can get this Arts Mind. You can see this is pretty much used. I use it a lot, actually. It's not a horrible paint. Americana Decor. And again, you can get this, I think I saw it at Joann's last week as well, or maybe Hobby Lobby over in the States. So again, now keep in mind, if you start comparing the price of this, because this is only 8 ounces compared to 16 ounces. Is that what these are? Then what you find out is that you compare apples to apples, and that's part of what I'm going to do in that little experiment I'm going to do. This is the Folk Art Home Decor. I got this at Joann's. I think it can be found at Hobby Lobby and maybe at Walmart. I think there's another brand from Walmart, Waverly, that you can get as well. So, and then there are 2 other kinds that I want to point out. I'm going to put this aside for now. But the one is the Rust-Oleum. So Rust-Oleum in North America can be bought at pretty much any of the local hardware stores. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So in Canada, we can get it at Home Depot, Lowe's, Home Hardware, Canadian Tire. So any of those hardware stores or home decor, building stores, you can get this Rust-Oleum paint. It comes in a lot of tinted colors, a number of pre-tinted colors. I use this white linen a lot for my whites. And you can also get it tinted. So it has a light base and a dark base, and then they have a list of the different colors you can get it tinted in. I heard this morning that you can actually get it tinted any color you want. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know where that information came from, but they do have a nice list of colors that you can get it tinted from. Okay. I will point out that I've used their charcoal, the Rust-Oleum charcoal, and it's not a true black. It's a very charcoal gray. So I've gone to the Behr Black, Classic Noir. But I did see on the shelf when I was shopping for some of this stuff, I did see that there was a new black. It looks like there's a new black that Rust-Oleum has put out that's probably more of a true black. Okay. And the last one I want to talk about is the Behr paint. So Behr is Home Depot's line of paint. It's a good paint. I like it. I use it. It's probably my personally most used paint right now, because we have a Home Depot that's not that far away, so I can go get it whenever I want. They have a list of colors. You know, they have a color palette that you can look at. But the beauty is that you can get it tinted in pretty much any color. You pick a paint chip off their wall and they will tint it to that color. Okay. They can color match it, all that kinds of good stuff. So that's what I like about the Behr paint, and its availability to me, because Home Depot's open late, those kinds of things. All right. Okay. Let me just go. So here's the thing. Some of these, you know, when you use them, you might have to put an extra coat of paint on. Okay. This paint might not cover as well as this paint. But that's not a problem. If it's cheaper and you have the time and it's available to you, who cares? Put another coat of paint on. All right. So don't get yourself too worked up about that. That's really what I want to point out. I also should point out that there are other kinds of paint. So there's like milk paint, and then there's like metallics and all that. We'll touch on, I probably won't touch on milk paint. Maybe I will way later on, but right now I'm not going to. I will touch on metallics, because metallics takes a specific technique to make sure your metallics look good. So we'll touch on that later on. But for right now, we're just focusing on what we would consider chalk paint. All right.